Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Rachel. I have been a little MIA from my channel for quite a while. I was going through some personal things and I'm still trying to work through them, but I am trying my best and we're working on it. But I really wanted to get back to this channel and posting on here. I really enjoyed it and I liked talking to you guys about books, and so I wanted to come back with my May wrap up. I will be posting videos that I filmed before, and so you'll see some older content, my April wrap up and stuff like that, but I wanted to come back with this May wrap up. So let's get into the video. I read 9 books in the month of May, which is kind of crazy because I feel like I did not read that much. One of them was an audiobook, and I actually started this, I feel like, in April, but I finished it in May. That is Everything I Ate in a Year by Stanley Tucci. Now, when I grabbed this, I thought it was more going to be done in like a memoir kind of style, and he does narrate it, Stanley Tucci, but I feel like it's almost more like a journal kind of style where he talks about the things that he ate throughout the year, and with that he talks about the things that are happening around that. So if he went to an event and they had food, he'll talk about the event and the food that he ate. It was really focused on the food, obviously, with a little bit of like this background of what was happening in his life, but I wouldn't call it a memoir by any means. So if you're wanting to read more memoir style by him, I would probably pick up something else. I have not read anything else by him, so I can't recommend anything specifically, but I think that if you enjoy Stanley Tucci as a person or somebody who really loves food, I would recommend this book to you. I believe I gave this like 3 stars or something like that. It was good, but it wasn't anything absolutely amazing, you know? The next book that I read was Verity. Now, I feel conflicted about this book, not about my rating. I gave it 2.75 stars. I feel like it might have been higher if it were not for the very end. If you've read this book, there's a letter at the end, and I did not like that letter. I almost felt like the letter kind of took away from the entire story. I felt like it diminished what we had done throughout the story, where you are left with this sense of questioning and wondering. I almost just felt like the letter was kind of like a cop-out where it like tied together all the loose ends that the book itself didn't finish. And I just kind of felt like we didn't have the letter and she actually wrapped up all those loose ends throughout the book. I feel like I might have given it a higher rating, but I did not enjoy this book. The story talks a lot about, and trigger warnings, you know, like be prepared, but it talks a lot about children and abuse and like abusing children, and I did not like that. I did not enjoy it one bit. I didn't want to hear about that. Like, why would I want to read about children being abused and deaths of children and things like that? I really did not enjoy that. And I get, like, it's supposed to make you uneasy, it's supposed to make you uncomfortable, but I just felt like it was done in a way that I couldn't, like, I read it, but I was like really disturbed while reading it in a way that I did not enjoy feeling. So if you have any problems with reading stuff like that, I would maybe suggest not reading it, or at least going and looking up some more trigger warnings and really doing your research on the book before you pick it up. I would be really hesitant to recommend this book to anyone specifically. I do know personally a lot of people that really liked this book, and that's totally fine. I know that there's a couple of her books that people really love, and this is one of them, and I get it. It's very thrilling, and I think that compared to what she's written before and like her other books, this one might be better written, but the topic was just not for me. Next, I read Happy Place by Emily Henry. I am very hit or miss with Emily Henry. I read People We Meet on Vacation years ago. I honestly don't even really remember anything that happened. I recently watched the movie with my mom and I thought the movie was cute, but I think I gave it like 3 stars. Like, I really don't remember much of anything from the book, but I really liked Funny Story by Emily Henry. I thought that was absolutely fantastic. I'm pretty positive I gave it 5 stars, if not like very, very high 4 stars. I really liked that book. So going into this, I had very mediocre expectations, and I feel like it met those expectations. And it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. The writing was phenomenal. I think Emily Henry is a fantastic writer. I just feel like sometimes her stories move a little bit too slowly for me, and it has nothing to do with the lack of romance. I know that her books are often pitched as romance, but I really feel like they're more literary fiction with a hint of romance, and that's totally fine for me. I'm not a big romance person, so that was not the issue. I just felt like it moved so slowly, and I did it like tandem-ish, like I would listen to it and then like when I was home I'd pick it up, but it just really wasn't for me. I didn't love any of the characters, like that was the other thing, and I felt like that's kind of where the disconnect for me came from. I gave it 3 stars. The next 2 books that I read were novellas from the Shady Hollow series, Evergreen Chase and Phantom Pond by Juno Black. I thought these were so cute. I love this series. I think that if you're reading the Shady Hollow series and you have the opportunity to pick up these little novellas, they are only digital, but if you do have the opportunity to pick them up, I definitely would. Obviously, if you're not in the middle of reading the series, then don't pick it up. But I did enjoy these. I think I gave them both like 3-ish stars or something. Yeah, I gave them each 3.25 stars because they're just tiny little novellas. There's not really a ton you can get from them, but I love the series. They give very much like Gilmore Girl vibes, but like with the hint of mystery, like cozy mystery, and they are animals, so you do have to like suspend your disbelief for a second, but I think that they're really cute and very cozy, and I would recommend them. The next book that I finished was Unselected Journals of M.M. Lyon by Beth Brower. I absolutely love this series. I cannot say enough good things about this series. I technically reread the first, second, and third book of this series with my mom. We carpool a lot together to work, and so I listened to them again with her in the car, but this was the first new volume for me that I listened to, and I absolutely love this series. It's so good. I cannot say a single bad thing about this series other than I wish they were longer. Like genuinely, I wish they were longer. They're done in like 2 months worth of time, so like each volume is 2 months. But I love it, and I think that if you have the slightest inkling of or feeling of wanting to read this series, you should. They make me laugh, they've made me cry, they make me feel so much, and I absolutely love them. My mom loves them. I think that it is an amazing series, and you should read it. After that, I finished Mockingbird Court by Juno Black. This is the last installment, as of right now, of the Shady Hollow series, and I really hope that they come out with more, but as of right now, this is the last one. And that's why I read those 2 novellas. I really wanted to pick this one up, and I wanted to read them before I got to this book. This one was really cute. I feel like this one was not my favorite of the series, but I did enjoy it. You did get to learn a lot more about Vera, and she's the main character, and I feel like we don't really get to know a lot about her. In this book, we actually got to know her, and I liked that aspect of it. The mystery itself was not my favorite. I kind of felt like I knew who it was almost immediately. So, you know, that's never great, but also it's a cozy mystery. I wasn't expecting a lot from it. So I think that, again, if you're in the middle of reading this series, I would continue reading this series. I really enjoyed it, and I think it's a really great series, and I hope that they write more. The next book is Death Meets Cute by Jay Penner. I picked this book up earlier this month, and I actually went to the author signing for it, so my book is signed. But this is pitched as like a rom-com cozy fantasy, and genuinely I feel like it's a cozy fantasy with a hint of romance, and it is cute funny, but it's not like rom-com-y. I enjoyed the book. I gave it 3 stars. The writing was really cute, but it didn't give me, like I said, those rom-com-y vibes, which is totally fine. I'm not a big romance reader, so that's okay. I just was going into this book expecting that, and then it didn't happen, and so that kind of threw me. There is romance, but it's like so small. But that doesn't mean that the book wasn't good and entertaining. I think that this book really talks and like hones in on who you are as your own person, and finding that identity and reconnecting with family and not giving up on who you are as a person, and I enjoyed that. I feel like cozy fantasy tends to do that. They tend to lean into, you know, who you are, and I mean, I think fantasy in general usually does that, but I feel like cozy fantasy like really hones in onto that. There isn't much found family. There is like a family in this book, like actual family though, so it's not technically found family, but you do get that aspect of family. So, you know, I think that if you find this book intriguing and you want to pick it up, I definitely would. I wouldn't recommend anybody not pick it up, but I would just go into it more with the mindset of it being a cozy fantasy with a background of romance. And the last book that I read in May is The Unselected Journals of Emma M. Lyon, Volume 5. This might be my favorite volume so far. I know that there's still like 3 more volumes out right now, and I know there's gonna be like upwards of 25, but as of right now, up until what I've read, I think this might be my favorite, and I think it's because we really, really get to know Emma on a deeper level in this book. I think that a lot of the characters are really coming into themselves. You're really getting to know them. You're learning more background about each character, but Emma really, truly shows you a lot of emotion in this book. And I really, really liked that. She spends a lot of time with like the gang, you know, like her little group of people, and I loved that. This is definitely more found family, and I love it. I think it's so cute. I was like talking to my boyfriend and like being like, oh, I love all these characters, and I don't know if this is gonna end up in a romance, but I'm like, I want her to be with this person, but wait, I love that person. And so it's really fun. I really like it. And even if she ends up with no one, I think that Emma is a strong woman and she doesn't need anyone. But I think that, you know, it's still fun to like think about and talk about. If you haven't read Emma M. Lyon, you need to pick it up. Like, you need to get on the bandwagon. It is hyped for a reason. And if you don't like Emma M. Lyon, it's probably because you've only read the first volume. And I loved the first volume, but I could see how someone going into this could be like, that's kind of boring, and like not pick the rest of it up. But it really, truly is an absolutely fantastic story. I think that each character, like I said, really comes into their own. They are really developed. You really get to know them. And Emma herself is just so witty. She's so funny. She's so smart. I could not rave more about these books. I wish they were longer, but other than that, they're literally perfect. So those were the 9 books that I read in May, which truly is shocking to me. I feel like I read significantly less. I know that I did a couple audio and some on my Kobo, but genuinely it feels like I read a lot less. So I am knocking out physical books, which is great, although like 4 of these I bought this year, so that's not fantastic. But I'm really working on knocking down my physical TBR, and hopefully in June I will actually knock out some actual books from my TBR, because this thing is overflowing, and trust me, this little shelf is not all of my physical TBR. If it was, I would not feel so terrible about not reading them, but I have hundreds of books. Yeah, that's a problem. But anyway, this book is about what I read in May, and those are the 9 books that I read in May. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy my content. I know, like I said at the beginning of this video, I've kind of been MIA, but I am determined to come back. I don't know how frequently I'll be posting. Right now I might have a few more videos coming out more regularly because I'm going to be posting videos that I filmed and never edited and uploaded, but at least a video a month. My goal is to do every other week right now, so hopefully I will get those up for you guys. But also, I have 100 subscribers, and that's really, really cool. I know that's not like a ton, but also I think that's fantastic. I don't remember what video I was watching, but someone said, like, if you had 50 people standing in front of you, like real people standing in front of you, listening to you and caring about what you had to say, like, that would feel so incredible. And I don't know, it just like really stuck with me, because I don't have a ton of followers on here and I don't have a ton of followers on TikTok, but the fact that 100 of you follow me and want to hear about what I have to say is really, really cool. And over on TikTok, I just hit like 1,000 subscribers like a month ago, and that is insane. 1,000 people care about what I have to say about books, and I just think that's really cool. And I wanted to say thank you. And yeah, if you like my content, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell notification so you get notified when I post. And I will see you all in my next video. Thank you so much. Bye.